Hi kids, how are you doing today? In this video, we are going to move on to our next assignment for social studies about our landmark. Before we talk about what we're going to do, I want to review some of the steps that we have already taken in our landmark research project. So we have already practiced together. That was when we learned about Fort Snelling. Last week, we also chose the landmark we wanted to learn about, and then we actually went and researched it last week too. As you all were researching your landmark, I was also spending some time learning about this Minnesota landmark called Jeffers Petroglyphs. What our assignment is this week and what we're going to look at in this video is how do we organize our facts? Later, as we move on through our project, we are going to talk about how we rewrite our facts. We're also going to create a product to share with others. And then we're going to celebrate and give ourselves a pat on the back for working really hard on this assignment here. So let's move on to how do we even organize our facts? To start, we need to go to our Post-it notes at the bottom of this slideshow. So as you can see, I have 4 slides with the information that I gathered about Jeffers petroglyphs. And 3rd graders, scroll down all the way to the bottom and you will see that your teacher has also shared with you this new slide that looks like this. So later in this video, we will talk about what this table up here means. What we need right now is just this yellow box that says My Facts. As you could probably guess, we are going to take all of the facts we gathered on our Post-it notes and we need to move them to this slide here in this yellow box. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to start at my first slide with my Post-it notes. Now to move this to the yellow box on the last one, I'm going to click my text and I'm going to highlight all of it. And I'm going to right click. And I want to choose this button here that says Cut. Cut is very similar to copy, except when I click Cut, all of my text disappears. Now, when that happens, don't freak out because that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to disappear. And when I go to that new slide from my teacher, I'm going to right click again, but this time I will choose Paste. And there's my fact. As we can see, it's a little too big for this yellow box. So again, I'm going to click and highlight. And I think I might choose a size as small as 10 because I had a lot of facts that needed to go on here. And I want to make sure that they all fit. There we go. That was my first fact. Let's do the other one. Again, I'm going to highlight, right click, and cut. And back on this page, I'm going to right click and paste. Again, let's make it size 10 so it's nice and small. And I like to make the text boxes actually fit the text so I don't have big text boxes everywhere. That's just me. It helps me feel organized. I think it might help you all feel organized too. So 3rd graders, I'm going to do that with all of my Post-it notes. So I don't want to have you sit here watching me do all that. So I'm going to pause my video, and when I come back, you will see all of my facts will be in this yellow box. All right, I'll be right back. And as you can see, my yellow fact box is now full of all of my facts. And over here, you can see my Post-it notes are now empty. So let's talk about how do we organize our facts into this table? Well, let's take a look. I've got this green box set up to help us. Our steps to organize. The first thing we want to do is read my fact. Let's choose one of them. How about this one down here? I'm going to click on it for you so we know which one. Sorry. Okay, petroglyphs are images carved into rock. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself, what is this fact telling me about my landmark? Well, when I read this, 3rd graders, I find that this fact is telling me what are petroglyphs? What are they? And what are the Jeffers petroglyphs? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to organize that into a heading. I just decided that this fact told me what are the Jeffers petroglyphs. So that is going to become my first heading, and I'm going to type it right in here. That means, third graders, that everything that goes in this box, oops, excuse me, I pulled the wrong one. Everything that goes in this category needs to tell me what are Jeffers petroglyphs. Let's try another one. People can visit Jeffers petroglyphs. Again, I'm going to ask myself, what is this fact telling me about my landmark? Well, I think that this one is telling me what Jeffers petroglyphs are like for people right now. Because if I go there right now, I can actually visit it and see it. So I'm going to organize that into my second heading because that's different from my first heading. I'm going to type it here again. So again, third graders, everything that goes in this column needs to tell me what are the petroglyphs like now. Okay, let's try another one. The petroglyphs show images of humans, deer, buffalo, arrows, and more. They tell a story that covers more than 7,000 years. I think that this fact is telling me what the Jeffers petroglyphs are. So since that is already a heading, again, I can already just click and drag that into this section. But when I do that, third graders, notice that I've run into a problem. My text is over this other black writing, and I can no longer read it really well. Here's a trick for you that is going to help you not just in this assignment, but anything else on Google Slides. If we have our text box highlighted like it is now, and click this paint bucket icon that says fill color, I'm going to choose white, and it turns the background of my text white so that I no longer have the issue of not being able to read it anymore. All right, so again, third graders, I'm going to pause this video so you don't have to watch me do one after the other, but I'm going to go through all of these steps again to organize the rest of my facts. So when we come back, the rest of my table will be filled out. Here we are towards the end of our video. You have now seen that I have categorized all of my facts, and you might have also noticed that I only used 2 headings, and that's okay. This third heading is optional. So during this assignment, you will need at least 2 headings. So no less than 2, no more than 3. And you also notice that within each heading, I have at least 1, 2, 3 facts. That is also going to help you be successful as we move on in the future. You need to have at least 3 facts in each heading. So if you don't have enough, you might need to go back and look at some of your resources to look for more information. All right, well, let's review what you need to do during this week's assignment. So before we even organized our facts over here, the first thing we had to do was cut and paste our facts into this yellow box. Remember, we had to move them from the Post-it notes over here. That's the first thing we need to do. Then we read our facts one by one. As we read each fact, we need to ask ourselves, what is this fact telling me about my landmark? Remember, we want to think big. We want to think broad, like, what are they? What actually is this landmark? And what are they like now? Once we ask that to ourselves and we answer it, that's when we organize it into the heading. We type in our headings and then we move our facts to that part of the table. So please make sure if you forget how to do something, you refer back to this video. Ms. Storhaug and I are creating these so that you can be successful at home without your teacher support always, without your parent or family member support always. But of course, please let us know if you need any extra help or if you're having trouble using your online documents. All right, I cannot wait to see what you all come up with this week, and I'm excited to keep moving forward. So